Two. There it is. We're actually for the first time, maybe ever. No, not really. But we're early. We like this. This is great. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you so much for joining us here. All of you insurance pros. Let's dive into another episode. But before we do, just a quick reminder to please subscribe on whichever platform it is that you're listening to us on. Give us a like, a follow, subscribe, and drop a review and help other like-minded insurance agents find value from our awesome guests as we rise up in those podcast rankings. We'll really sincerely appreciate it. And if you want to be a guest on the show, I'd love to have you on and learn from you. Go to www.insurancebroshow.com/guest to schedule your time slot. And don't forget to follow me on all my social media at Insurance Bro Show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're so excited, so honored to bring another incredible guest to the Insurance Bro Show. Our guest today is a U.S. Navy veteran who continued to serve his countrymen and women by educating others to create generational wealth through his financial literacy campaign. Having spent 22 years in service to his country, our guest knows what it means to be of service to others. He's passionate about making sure that people are armed with the education and knowledge to make financial decisions that will provide security for their retirement or untimely death. Joining us today is a financial education consultant from World System Builder, a division of World Financial Group. Welcome to the show, Ray Donegan Jr.
The Insurance Bro Show is a podcast for agents who want to grow their agency and be titans of the insurance industry. Learn from a panel of experts who share their agency struggles, their experiences with the nation's best carriers, and share the marketing secrets that successful insurance agents are using today. Now, here's your host, the Insurance Bro, James Cias.
Oh man, that applause is just too good. Good job, Hernan.
I love that.
Ray, man, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for hopping on with us today.
Thank you, James, for having me. It's definitely a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's an honor, anytime we get to spend time with 22-year veterans of the United States Navy, that was where I served, for anybody who is not aware. So tell me a little bit about, what led you on your path, like 22 years in the Navy, and then you get out, and did you immediately choose insurance, or did you have something else in mind at first?
Actually, I didn't have nothing in mind at first. I just wanted to go to school, but about 3 months before I retired, I had 3 family members murdered in Chicago. And to my surprise, pretty much everybody had to pony up to help pay for the insurance for all these 3 family members. And I just couldn't understand it. I was sitting there talking to my dad about it, and he said, "Hey, I want you to know, we're from the inner city, the south side of Chicago. What financial educator is coming into this community to help educate the people of the community?" And at that time, a light, went off of my head. The light bulb flew back to Chicago, talked to one of my friends that worked for World Financial Group and World System Builders, and they were about educating families. Mm-hmm. So I immediately got myself involved with the company, telling my friend, "Hey, I need you to fly out to Chicago to help educate my family." He said, "No, I'm going to educate you, and you take care of your family. Your family knows you, and they trust you." So nice. Ever since then, I've been full steam ahead about educating, everybody within our community, not just my own community. We have an issue when it comes to regular Americans. We tend to not know what we buy. And
Very
then
true.
When someone else comes and says, "Oh, I have something better for you," then they end up changing policies and flipping them around. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But if you educate them first, they know exactly what they have, and they know how to defend what they have.
100%. It's funny that you say that. And I know that we had a phone conversation prior to this, and you had told me a little bit more about that backstory. But before we dive into some of that stuff, believe it or not, my story is kind of similar. My younger brother was murdered last year. And when that happened, it was a very similar situation. I mean, we we kind of saw him going along this path. So before, several years back, we tried to get him to get a life insurance policy. Unfortunately, when the person showed up to do like the medical exam and all that, he was high and drunk. So she was like, "Yeah, I don't feel safe. I'm out of here." It didn't work out, but from that, I saw a lot of the same things that you're talking about, that the community and the people that he was involved with, nobody really has that kind of an education. So tell me about that experience. What was it like going back to Chicago and going through and teaching all of these people who don't have or didn't have the education? What was it like when you went back and started providing that for them?
So in February 2009, myself and one of my trainers, we actually flew back to Chicago and sat down with about 30 of my family members, and come to find out that 70% of them either didn't have enough protection or they didn't have anything at all. They didn't have a clue on what to get, and from that education process, 6 months, we was able to take care of those family members, not all of them. But as of today, every last one of those 30 family members has something in place for themselves to protect their family. But then after, working through my family, I figured out there was more than just my family that needed help. There were a lot of other people in the community, that needed help also. So roughly about like 4 years ago, about 5 years ago, Well System Builders came up with this program, which is a financial literacy program in which we used to invite people over to the office and introduce them to 4 workshops, to where they come in. There's no one trying to get them to buy anything, no one trying to get them to join, just come in. It's just pure education. And what that did, it opened up the doorway for a lot of our community just to get the basic information that they didn't have before.
So I have a couple of questions coming from this. The first is, I want to definitely hear more about those 4 courses, those 4 classes that are being taught. But I think even more importantly, it's one thing to provide those classes and provide that education. But as the old saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, right? But you can't make them drink. So what are you doing to get into the community to get people to show up to these courses?
Well, as you know, regular education is very expensive,
For sure.
And even when our fellow colleagues offer education, a lot of times they have workshops and it costs people. You attend a workshop for whatever company and it's for a weekend and it costs you $50 or it costs you $100 to learn the what they have to offer. But what we did is that we offered it free, no charge. And when they come, they get a free workbook and they get a free book that's called Saving Your Future. That's right behind me.
Okay.
And
all right.
The key was offering this free information. Actually, these classes are taught at Columbia University.
Oh, wow, nice.
Free to the students. And once we like free stuff. It doesn't cost me anything. There's no pressure. Yeah, let me come and see how it works out. And they come in and they love the vital information that they're given. And when I mean there's no pressure at all. Thank you for coming to the workshop. Hope I get a chance to see you next week for workshop number 2, workshop number 3. And then from that comes the clients.
All right. So tell us about these workshops. We got 4 total workshops. Is the overall title Saving Your Future, or is that just one of the classes?
The name of the work right behind me.
There you go. Financial Foundation Educational Program.
That is the name of the total workshops. So we have 4 workshops. It's actually 5, but the four workshops. Workshop number 1 is increased cash flow. Wait a minute. Can I share screen?
You know what? Let's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Workshop number 1 is increased cash flow and debt management. Workshop number 2 is building a strong financial foundation, and understanding proper protection. Workshop number 3 is building wealth and asset accumulation. Workshop number 4 is retirement planning and wealth preservation. Those are the 4 workshops. Now, there is a 5th workshop, but we only offer that if the client wants to actually see it, because it can be considered solicitation. And that one is building a business in the financial sector.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Building a business in a financial sector? Look at that. There you go. There you go. Increased cash flow, debt management, building a strong financial foundation. This is awesome stuff. And so this is everything that's provided for free by
250 offices in the United States and over 25,000 agents. And
wow.
we charge anything. Now, here it is. I used to teach these workshops, physically in person. I've had anywhere from 7 to 15 people in each of the workshops, and we taught them twice a week. Mm-hmm. Then COVID hit.
Yep. How has that changed it?
Actually, I have moved my online service. I've moved it to online. And what I do, I reach out to community organizations, NAACP, a group called Young Black in Business, Fit Black and Educated, Red Feather Career Consultants. And I teach classes for each individual group Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Soon I have another one on Tuesday and 2 more on Saturday. There is no charge. Now, instead of giving them the books physically, I send them the digital book. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of times when you ask people to come into the workshops, a lot of stuff happens. I can't get out because I can't find a babysitter, or I got called in for this, or I can't leave the house.
Not much of an excuse anymore.
Now, all they have to do is just log in.
Log
into my Zoom conference, and I have just in the past 30 days, I've educated at least 30 people.
Nice.
And I'm just loving the way it's going, and just pure education, because I do not want someone's family being in the same situation my family was in. 3 murders happened. I mean, I came in on an understanding that education was very important, especially when it comes to money. We don't have much because we don't know much. So let's give them the knows so they can make the right decision that best fits their pocket and best fits their family. Because a lot of times as agents, we just go and sell.
Right. Absolutely,
And what happens is that we actually don't see that client again until the annual review. But
tell me about the annual review. Tell me about the annual review. I mean, we're talking life insurance here, right? Life insurance for the most part. Right. So when it comes to life insurance, I mean, I'm really new to life insurance in general. Treat me like I don't know stuff. I always tell people I don't know stuff, and that keeps me out of trouble. So why are we doing an annual review for a life insurance policy? Isn't it? Once you sell it, that's it.
Well, if, like, say for instance, I sold a client a whatever term or something in June. Mm-hmm. Annual review, something might have changed a year later. They might have got married. They might have bought a house. They might have bought a house. They might have had kids. They might have got divorced. There could have been a lot of things that changed that may dictate this individual changing their life insurance.
Gotcha.
So the annual review is to make sure that I'm doing my due diligence to follow up with my clients to fulfill the needs that they may need, that they might not know they don't need. Now, here's an example.
Sure.
6 months ago, I went to go see one of my friends. He said, "Hey man, I need to beef up my life insurance. I just got married 3 months ago, and I want to know if you can help me out." I said, "All right." I came by the house. I looked at his life insurance policy, and I said, "Oh, this looks good. Everything's great." I look at the beneficiary. I look at the wife. I said, "Jessica, it's good. You're the beneficiary on the policy." She said, "My name is not Jessica."
Oh, oops.
And he said, "Oh, that's my ex-wife." I said, I asked him,
hell no.
And then I asked him, "When was the last time you had an annual review?" He said, "I haven't seen my agent since 15 years ago when I opened it up."
Oh, there you go.
So here it is. This individual no longer with the ex-spouse has a new spouse, and if something would have happened to this gentleman, guess what? All that money would not have went to his new wife; it have went to his ex-wife.
Man, so yeah, those annual reviews are important, even in the life insurance space. And it's funny because
Yes.
I was in the same boat. I bought my first term life insurance policy. I don't know, I was like 20 years old, maybe. My brother and I, we had just bought our first house together, and some guy came over, wrote a policy for us, and we never heard from him again. Right. So in the meantime, same thing. You know, he got married. He had 2 kids. My brother did. He got married. He got 2 kids. I eventually got married myself. And, you know, by the time that the life insurance policy had run out, you know, all of these different changes had happened. Probably if that agent was doing the follow-up, you know, he probably could have got more sales from us, because we would have needed to increase the amounts as we, you know, invested more, built more businesses, all this stuff. Right. So those annual reviews are definitely super important. Let me go a little bit further into the products that you offer. Life insurance, there's so many different ways that you can go. There's so many paths that can be followed. I know that it's very tailored to the individual. So for you, do you prefer term over a permanent policy? Do you have a preference there? What do you like to sell?
Well, it has nothing to do with me. It has to do what it is, the plan that individual or that family is looking for. If it's a term, that's fine. You know, it's a term with living benefits, that's fine. If it's a whole life, that's fine. If it's universal life, that's fine. If it's index universal life, that's fine. It all depends on the goal that family wants to achieve. So I'm like I said, I'm educational, because a lot of times when I sit down with families, they don't know the difference between the different types of life insurance policies. So I do a breakdown. You know, this is this, this is that, this is this. What is your affordability? What is your dime? I don't know if you know what the dime method is.
Yep. Debt, income, mortgage, and education.
And once we find out the sum of their dime, that lets us know how much protection this family may need. And then we work from there. And then we see what their affordability is on each of the products. And then, you know, I give them that detailed information. And then I invite them to the workshops. I said, to help you get a better understanding.
Nice.
How about you come into the workshops and you can further your information when it comes to finance, and not just understanding your life insurance. Because now, what about debt management? You know, what about increasing your cash flow by correcting your spending habits? What about your retirement planning? How much do you know about your 401k? Do you know the difference between active management and passive management? You know, do you have a will? Do you have a trust? So, you know,
these are all part of the financial foundation, right?
That's correct. That's all part of the financial foundation educational program. And it's not that I am going to help a family with their insurance product. I want to make sure that they have all the vital information they need to move forward, you know, so
to achieve their goals.
Yes, most definitely.
So basically, you're helping people make their dreams come true. You're helping people set themselves up to their ultimate success, because when it comes right down to it, right, my brother and I, we always say this: retirement isn't a money it's not a time problem, it's a cash flow problem, right? It's not what year do you want to retire, it's when do you have enough money, enough income to retire. So what's your like target range? At what age do you want to be catching people? I mean, obviously as early as possible, right? If you could talk to, like, I don't know, when you first joined the Navy and you were a fresh seaman out of boot camp, like you would have loved to have caught yourself then and gave yourself the education that you have now, right?
Right. We always say, and to this day, I still say this, I wish at 55 now, I wish someone would have came to me when I was 21 with this education. You know, so now when I see young minds, I'm attracted to them like a light, like a moth to a light. I said, I want you to be in a better place. You know, me being as a parent of 3 girls, we always want our kids to be in a better place when they reach our age. So when I see these young kids, I want to help them move to a better place by understanding money, understanding finance, keeping them out their parents' pockets.
Yes.
So if I can catch them at 18 to them to get into workshops, that's fine. That's beautiful. I catch them at 25, 35, 45, 55, even 60. Actually, in one of my classes, I have a young lady that's in my class that's 61, and I have another lady in there that's 65. And what she's doing is making sure she get her grandkids into the classes.
Oh, there you go.
We're not just doing this for money. We're doing it for a shitload of money.
I can put it to you like this. Once you're educated, and then you can educate your family, that is creating generational wealth within that family. You have made that paradigm shift to educate.
He ain't lying.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's one thing that you are providing the education, and, the patriarch or matriarch of the family can pass that education down. But by purchasing these products, by setting up their life insurance or the retirement plans or all these different things, they're setting themselves up so that they can leave behind an inheritance instead of an invoice, right?
That's correct.
So those are the things that I love. I personally love about life insurance. It is definitely that generational wealth. Like I said, when my brother was killed last year, I saw a lot of people who needed the same type of education, and that's the community that I would want to reach. What about you? What are you doing? How are you getting out, not just in your community, but your marketing? How do you get your leads? How do you get yourself in front of people to tell them what it is that you do?
I do a lot of Facebook, a lot of Instagram, not so much on Twitter, but I need to pick that up some. Throw some quotes out there. I partnership with different community organizations and offer the free information. And once I offer the free information, each organization has at least about anywhere from 500 to 1,500 people associated with them. Mm-hmm. So once I'm on their Facebook feed, on their private group, that's when I start to offer the information when it comes to financial education. Or if anybody needs some help understanding this, please be a part of our class. My main focus is I don't actually go after clients for sales. I go after individuals for education. And once you educate them, you start to build that trust. Once you build that trust, they come to you. I don't even have, really, to tell you the truth, I don't even have to ask anymore. Now, when I first started, it's, oh, here come Ray with this life insurance stuff, Here it comes. Oh, we know what he's going to talk about. Now, there's been a shift in my community to where they go, here comes that educator. Here comes that guy that teaches the classes.
Oh, that's perfect.
And it's a totally different look, And when I'm in the classes, and I'm telling you, right in the middle of the classes, someone says, hey, well, I need this. Can you help me out with that? Yes, ma'am. Here's my email address. We'll talk about it later, but let me finish teaching the class because there's still other students in there that need help also. So on why I'm teaching the classes, I'll get private messages. Here's my email address. Can you contact me? This, that, and other. Can we set an appointment time in which we have a sit down on Zoom and we're sitting, work out their dime and see how can I help them out?
I feel like, again, we had a similar shift in mindset there. So when I first started in insurance, I've been a PNC guy myself this whole time. And, PNC, as you know, is most of the time required by law, right? You want to drive a car, you got to have insurance. You want to buy a house, you got to have insurance. So I came into this business with the mindset of everybody's got to buy insurance. Why not buy it from me? Right? So not a great way to just start this off. I'll tell you that much. But from what it sounds like, you started off in life insurance and you were that guy pushing life insurance. And then you had a mindset shift and you said, you know what? I don't want to just push my life insurance. I want to educate people. Can you tell me a little bit about that mindset shift? When and how did that happen?
Well, our head coach at World System Builders, his name is Swan Wynn, always an innovator. And he said, I need everyone to stop being sellers. I need you to start being educators. You'll create more business that way. So when I first heard that, I knew that I had to make that change. But that was a very hard change, especially for the insurance industry. For them to make that change from I need to stop selling and I need to start educating, that's a hard change for someone to do.
Yeah.
But I came in on the education part in the beginning because of my family didn't know anything. So that was already fixated in my head. What can I do to educate not just my family, but other people? So when these workshops came along, I was pushing. I was at community events, setting up my booth, business, what do you call them? Business meetings.
BNI.
Yeah. When they have public, where anybody can come in, you pay your booth fee, this, that, and other.
Conventions.
I was out there just, offering free financial literacy. A lot of people came by and said, how are you making money from this? Are you making money doing this education? I said, no, I'm not making money doing education. Oh, I wouldn't do that. I said, well, that's the difference between me and you. This is my philanthropy, me giving back to the community. And I know something's going to come back. Before you can receive anything, you have to give something.
100%.
Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right, man.
But it's hard. It is hard for the hardcore agents to see it.
It is.
It's hard for them, especially if they work for a major firm and a major firm says, you need to make 10 sales or you're going to get let go. The beauty of being an independent, I don't have no one telling me what to do. I just follow and focus on the need for the community. And here it is, even not just our urban community, even our wealthy communities, they need this information. There's a lot of people that make a lot of money, run through life spending up their money like minnows. And the reason why, they just don't have the education that's needed to help keep their asset funds.
So very true. So very true. Ray, tell me a little bit of something here before we go.
Yes, sir.
You have been building a business for quite some time. What podcasts, what mentors, what authors, what books have been valuable to you as you've grown your business?
Definitely Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Everybody knows who that gentleman is. There's a couple of mentors definitely in my company. Swan Wynn. If you look his name up, he is the number one guy in World Financial Group, and he is the leader of Wealth System Builders. Victor Salvador, who is an executive vice chairman with the firm, who is my direct mentor. I can pull out so many books right now.
Top 3.
10X.
Okay, Grant Cardone.
Yep. Saving Your Future.
There you go.
A lot of people don't know about that book. And what is the? You got me stumped right now.
Yeah. You said Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So there's your 3.
Yeah. So my thing, I remember when we were younger, and they say reading's fundamental. It definitely is. The more you read, the more you know, the more you can use, the more you can leverage yourself. It's all about you leveraging yourself to
absolutely
get people to listen to you, and is what you're saying valuable information for them to absorb.
And I think that you've done a great job creating something that provides a ton of valuable information for people to absorb. So why don't you tell our listening audience, so make sure you spell out or shout out any numbers. How can people get in touch with you? How can people get a hold of you if they want to participate in some of these free financial education classes, or just to work with you?
They can, my webpage is going across right here, WSBcampaign.com, R. Donegan Jr. That's my webpage. You can follow me on Facebook, R. Donegan Jr. on Facebook. Instagram, same thing, R. Donegan Jr. I try to make it real simple. Twitter, same thing, R. Donegan Jr. At Twitter, I try to make it very simple for anybody to contact me. If you're looking for some free information that can help move you forward financially, you don't have to do business with me at all. But if it gives you the information to go to your financial advisor and let them know, hey, this is what I learned. Can I get this? Can I get that? Can I position myself this way? I'm more than happy to give you the information freely. There's no charge. Education should be free anyway.
Fantastic. Ray, I want to thank you so much for taking the time with us here today. It's really been an honor to get to know you, to learn more about the Financial Foundation. What is that that's in the background? Financial Foundation Education Program. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you all want to learn from Ray, from this organization, learn about increasing your cash flow, learn about your financial foundation, learn about retirement planning and wealth preservation, you definitely want to get in touch with him. Definitely reach out. Ray, thank you so much, man. This has been truly an honor to get to know you here on the Insurance Bro Show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, everybody else, thank you all, as always, so much for tuning in today. Don't forget to please subscribe, like, rate, and review the show. It's going to help us show up that much higher on those search results. If you want to be a guest, go to www.insurancebroshow.com/guest. Would love to have you and learn from you, just like we did with Ray here today. And don't forget to follow me on all my social media at Insurance Bro Show. Other than that, a huge thanks to every single one of our viewers every single time. You all rock my socks. You have my heart. In the words of the great Mick Foley, play that video.
Have a nice day!
Thank you for tuning in to the Insurance Bro Show. James is the CEO of the Pipeline team of San Diego and is always in the market for top talent. If you're an agent looking for a place to hang your license, visit www.pipelineinsurance.com/agent opportunities or send an email to newagent@pipelineinsurance.com.